Good evening, everyone. We are from Group C, and today we will be presenting to you about the data gathering methods, specifically the ones used to gather the data regarding to the Kurang Laku DVD store case. So these are the members, and this is the table of contents. So the first topic is about the interview question that will be asked to the management. The second is the employee questionnaire. The third is the customer satisfaction and retention questionnaires, and the calculation to see if it's valid or not. And the fourth is the unobtrusive method strategies. So let's start with the first one, the management interview questions. So there are 10 questions here. The first is, what is the current state of the store's profitability and rental volume? The second is, if there is a decrease in the numbers, what is the cause? The third is, to which part is that cause related to? Which part of the store, I mean. And fourth is, does the store often do quality control checks? And if so, how often is it done? Number one. So as you can see, number one, two, and three are connected questions. The fifth question is, if a customer asks for a DVD in a certain quality, how does the store ascertain its availability? The sixth is, in regards to quality control, how does the store ascertain the quantity of the DVDs? The seventh question is, at what time does the store receive the most customers and why? The eighth question is, during days when the customer arrival peaks or is at its highest, how does the store handle it, or what does the store do to handle it? The ninth question is, what has been the management's priority when it comes to improving the quality of the store? And the 10th question is, in general, what do you think is the store's main issue? So these 10 questions will be posed to the management so that we can gain an insight on the business's IS. The second is the employee questionnaire. So there are 10 questions as well in the questionnaire. The first is, what is your position in the store? Which the options are cashier, inventory and storage, or anything else, which they can specify as well in the empty empty space. The second one is, on average, how many customers does the store receive per day? Let's see, the options are 5 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, or more than 20. The third is, on average, how long does it take to serve each customer? The options are 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, and 25 minutes, more than 25 minutes. The fourth question is, how many DVDs that are sold here that you have knowledge of? The first option is less than 50, then there's 50, 75, 100, and then more than 100. The fifth question is, what are the most frequent issues that you experience during the rental process? So the employees can write up to 3 issues that they feel that they have experienced. The sixth is, of the issues mentioned above, which one do you feel is the most crucial issue? The seventh question is, what is explaining the reason why they chose such an issue? That could be crucial. Yes. The eighth question is, what do you feel can be done to improve the system? And they may choose more than one option or even add another solution here in the others column. The ninth question is, why did you choose or provide the solutions above? And number 10 is, what benefits do you hope will emerge from using the new system? The next part will be brought by my teammate, Gerald. Gerald?
Okay, now I'm going to explain about the customer satisfaction and retention questionnaires that is going to be given to the Kurang Laku DVD rental store customers. So before that, I'm going to explain the definition of customer satisfaction and customer retention. It is for customer satisfaction is a measurement of how happy customers are with the company's product, service, and capabilities. And in terms of customer retention, is a measurement of how company manages to retain their current and potential customer. So in terms of Kurang Laku, we want to measure how happy they are towards the products and services that Kurang Laku provides. In terms of customer retention, does the products and services that is provided by Kurang Laku could retain them, in which they could always be the potential customer for Kurang Laku in the coming futures. It's in terms of their happiness or not towards Kurang Laku. Before that, I'm going to explain as well about Likert scale, in which this is the scale that we implemented for our questionnaires. So Likert scale is a unidimensional scale that researchers use to collect respondent attitudes and opinions. Likert scale questions are in the form of dichotomous option question, and usually users respond based on their level of agreement or disagreement. So this is the customer satisfaction questionnaire for Kurang Laku's customer, in which we use the 7 scale Likert scale, uh, in which the first one is strongly disagree, disagree, somewhat disagree, neutral, somewhat agree, agree, and strongly agree. So the questions slash statements are Kurang Laku provides a wide section of DVDs and complete sections of DVD qualities. The DVD selection process was simple and easy. Kurang Laku's employees are helpful in finding the desired DVD. The utilization of physical ID card as collateral is convenient. The utilization of receipt for DVD returning procedure is convenient. Kurang Laku's service procedure is time efficient, and Kurang Laku's checkout process was straightforward. So basically, the customer, they are going to pick whether they highly agree or disagree towards the statement that is provided here. So if, for example, they disagree that the utilization of physical ID card as collateral is convenient, they could like select whether they somewhat disagree or strongly disagree. It's based on their feeling towards it, based on their feelings towards the statement. Also, this is the questions for the customer retention questionnaire. The questions statements in which they are, I consider Kurang Laku as the go-to store for renting DVD. I recommend Kurang Laku to people that want to rent a DVD. I feel that Kurang Laku always provides DVDs that meet my expectation. I say positive things about Kurang Laku to other person, and I will rent DVD from Kurang Laku in the future. So just like from the previous question, the customer could just select which select the statements, select their feelings toward those statements, in which they could pick whether they agree or disagree, but with a sense of levels that is provided here. So yeah, overall, all of these questions and statements are going to be put into a Google form, in which it will be distributed to the customers of Kurang Laku DVD rental store, and they will fill out these questionnaires.
Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the reliability and the validity of the questionnaire itself, especially for the customer retention and the customer satisfaction. Okay, so after making the questionnaire for the those two, we can check the reliability of the questionnaire using the Cronbach alpha test and the Cronbach alpha measure in internal consistency, or how closely a group of items are related to each other. It is regarded as a scale of reliability indicator. The presence of a high alpha value does not imply that the measure is unidimensional. Additional analysis can be performed if you want to provide evidence that the scale is in question is undimensional, in addition to measuring the internal consistency. And one method of this determining the dimensionality is exploring the factor analysis. And Cronbach in technical terms, it is a coefficient of reliability, not a statistical test or consistency. And we can see that from the slides, the Cronbach alpha can be written as a function of the number of the test items and the average intercorrelation among this item. And below, for the conceptual purposes, we show the formula for the Cronbach alpha, which is alpha equals to the n multiplied by c, and then divided by the v plus the n minus 1 multiplied by c. And the average inter-item covariance among the items is equal to the average variance. And Cronbach alpha increase as the number of items increase, as seen from the formula. And furthermore, the alpha will be low if the average inter-item correlation is low, and Cronbach alpha rises with the average inter-item correlations. And after 19 respondents, we can see that the Cron alpha was 0.87 for the customer satisfaction and 0.95 95.2 for the customer retention rate. Okay, so we can see that the number of item on the left, it is the customer satisfaction, and the number on the right, it is the customer retention. We also can see that the each item of the Cronbach alpha, if for example the first questionnaire is removed or deleted on the questionnaire, we can see that how much Cronbach alpha will be affected. We can see that a lot of these item on the table, which is a high number, which is 0.8, all of them. So therefore that all of these questions actually are related, even though this is only have 5 or 7 question. We can see that those items are actually related. We can see that from the graph. Oh no, I'm sorry, from the table, that 0.8 to 0.9 is actually great to excellent. So therefore that we don't need to add or remove the particular question from the two questionnaire. And yeah, that's basically it on the Cronbach alpha of customer satisfaction and the customer retention questionnaire. Okay, so the next one is the Pearson correlation. So in this case, the Pearson correlation method is similar to Cronbach alpha, so they can check whether the two of the question are related to each other. So in this case, we can only just check the two. So we can just we need a lot more table in this case because we have 7 and 5 questions. And the Pearson correlations method is the most common method for numerical variables. It assigns a value between -1 and 1, where 0 is no correlation, 1 is a total positive correlation, and -1 is a total negative correlation. So the -1, there are no correlation. There's a negative correlation, I'm sorry. And the 0, there's none. And the 1, they have correlation. So the more high of the number of the Pearson correlation, the higher is the the relatable of each question. Okay, so next we can see that from this table, this is the table for the first questionnaire, which is the customer satisfaction. We can see that let me annotate it for you guys. We can see that each of this question. So this is the question number 1, and then this is also the question. You see that if the question are the same, of course we have actually a Pearson correlation of 1 because it's related. And if we, for example, I'm going to take the utilization of the physical ID and the wide selection of DVD and complete selection of the DVD qualities. In this case, we have a 0.54, which is a quite low number in this case because there are actually no correlation between them. So therefore, the number is low. But for example, I want to take the DVD selection and the surface procedure is time efficient. We can see that there is a high number in terms of these two questions, because actually the DVD selection process is related to the time efficient, of course. So therefore, we have a high on the Pearson correlation coefficient table. But we also can see that there are, for example, on the first, it's not really high or not really low. So therefore, that it have relatable on each other, but it's not the better one. Okay. Hold up. I'm going to remove all the annotate first. Okay. Okay. So the next one. Okay. So the next one is for the customer retention questionnaire. We also can see that the number 1 of each question that are the same, and we can see that In this case, we see that there are a lot of high numbers in terms of this, because I believe that the question is more relatable to each other, because I believe that the answer is almost in a negative way of kurang laku. So we can see that the number is quite high in the 0.8, and the lowest one I think is this one is the 0.656. So actually the on this table on the customer retention questionnaire is really relatable to question. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to clear. Okay. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so the next one uh, is the method or the strategies to gather the data and information. So we use the quantitative documents to do that. There are 4 ways. In this case, there are surveys, questionnaires, interview, and document reviews. And I want to explain all of it in a second. For example, the surveys is the common quantitative data collection method. We can see that the correspondents can answer in a yes or no question or a multiple choice. So the respondent can be quite high, because it's the reliable and the most easier. And we can also use the questionnaire, which is more like the same of the surveys. And the third one is the interviews. We can also collect those data through the interview, for example, in a one by one, or the IBM make more reliable on the interview which is the GAB or something, I believe. And the last one is the document review. The document review is just a process in which researchers analyze the quantitative data that they are found in the existing primary documents. For example, in this case, public records or data sales and personal documents. And I want to take the performance report. So I'm sorry. In this figure, a system analyst can use the table of area under normal curve to look up a value once he or she decided to confidence level. So in this case, we can the analyst can check on the performance, and then to analyze the quantitative documents, we can also use if for example check the errors in the amounts and the totals in the complete payment records, and then for example looking for opportunities to improving the recording for the design, observing the number and the type of the transaction, and lastly watching for the instant in which the computer can simplify the work through calculation and other data manipulation. And okay, next. So for the data examination, we use triangulation method, which in this case there are 3. So the triangulation refer to the use of multiple methods or data sources in qualitative research to develop a comprehensive understanding of phenomena. And this triangulation also have a view as a qualitative research strategy to test validity through the convergence of information from different sources. So the different sources in this case, there are the survey and the questionnaires, the interview, and maybe the last one is the sales and data reports that we get from the clients and from the businesses. Okay, so I think that's our presentation. Sorry if there are any mistakes from all of us. And if you have any question, you can actually ask a direct question in the Zoom meeting, or you can ask or raise question in the ELOC in the discussion forum. I think that's all from us. Thank you.